Hey everybody, RockPaperMario here, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy X. In the last part we started on through Macalania Woods, and here we are again in Macalania Woods.
Celebration of nice to see more waters wedding.
Let's see what he actually has to offer here. Weapons, because it might be useful to actually get a different weapon for Tidus, just so he's even able to hurt these enemies here. Like, I know strength plus 5 and strength plus 10 and sensor, that's all very useful, but white bang, some of the stuff might actually be useful here. The ice ball we already have, and to be honest, sensor is more useful than strength plus 5%. Yeah, I'll take that, sure. It's just like outright better. No. Blue armlet? No, not useful really. But I might take this. Just because like that's better than doing half damage if anything at all. Just right.
How about this?
I have no idea what that conversation
I'll go with these
does.
prices for a while.
I have no idea what what forces I set in motion there. I'm pretty sure up here, is there like an Albed primer here? I have like this strange feeling that there's this Albed primer up here yeah, there it is. That was like one of the ones that I was kind of like worried about missing because you really like can hardly see it. I just remembered it's like somewhere around here.
Wait. It is here. Somewhere.
What you talking about, Orin?
What's here?
Something you should see.
But, Sir Orin...
It won't take long.
Jeez, there he's going ham. It's like there must be some Five Guys burgers and fries behind there or something. He just wants to slide to the spot. Who knows what that one's thinking? And just blindly follow. He is our elder after all, that Alec Baldwin. So actually what I do want to do as well, is there anyone else that has like, I'm pretty sure I'd prefer to take off Wakka's elemental weapon as well, because I just don't want anyone to have elemental weapons equipped at this point in time, because elements are going to be a pretty... This is a beautiful area, by the way, but elements are going to be a pretty crucial element of coming up soon, so...
It's just water, isn't it?
This is what spheres are made of. It absorbs and preserves people's memories.
This area reminds me of Paper Mario as well or something. They're like the crystal berry and things like that. That's what it's like.
Fiends are also attracted to these places.
I give you the worthless protoplasm. Well, no, not really. It's actually the Spherimorph. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm gonna like haste myself, but I'm gonna go ahead and haste Lulu. Am I? Well, who I really want to haste is I want to haste Orin so he can like start doing some useful stuff here. But if I can get like Wakka and Lulu hasted, like haste Iga is going to be so useful once we get this going. I'm going to attack him to see what he's weak against at the moment, because that's what you have to do here. So he's using water, that means he must be weak against thunder at the moment. And that's pretty much how this battle is going to go. He's going to be weak against one element, and you've got to figure out which element he's weak against by attacking him, and then he'll attack with the opposite element of what he's weak against. So now we're going to use, since he used water, we're going to want to use Thundara, but we have Lulu's Overdrive, so let's go ahead and use Thundara Fury. Can I get up to 8? 8 is usually what I get up to, see, so that's actually doing okay damage. He's going to, I'm pretty sure he absorbs all other elements except the one. So now he's using Elemental Shift. So now we can't reliably do that anymore. So What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to start getting Orin here to use Magic Break and Power Break, because they're going to be two vital elements, so I couldn't have done that quickly enough, to be honest. Haste Orin as well, I already hasted Lulu. And again, just as per usual, haste is like a vital element of any boss battle, to be honest. We're going to want to use, what was I going to say? I might as well just attack him actually to see what he's weak against. So Blizzard, so now we're going to want to use Fire. And it could be anything, there's like no pattern to it, it just randomly picks one of the 4 elements, so that's the only real way to know what is going to be useful on it. So now Power Break. So that pretty much means his elemental magic is going to do less than normal, plus his power attacks, like that press attack where he just like squashes you, that's going to do less too. And that's pretty much how the battle progresses. There's nothing really more complex to it other than that. Elemental shift he's going to do. I might as well go ahead and use press. See, now he's doing it on the whole party, so that means we're actually like getting his health down quite effectively. Now I do want to start getting everyone else here as well, so we can use fire, so I know I want to use blizzard. And what I might do is I might as well go ahead and use the elementary of Waka and try and get an ice attack going here. So it's after blue, then after yellow, and then after blue. There we go. Just to get the overdrives used is quite useful. Not really a whole lot of damage, but better than Waka would have been doing otherwise. So, as I say, otherwise not really a whole lot to speak of, to be honest. I might as well get Kamari out here and use some sort of attack on this guy. Just get people's attacks in so that they get the their experience. Get Yuna in here and then get Riku in here. I'm not really sure he has anything to steal, to be honest. And Ether, well, that's better than nothing, I guess. And then what did he use? I can't remember what he used. Blizzard, was it? Or something? Not Thunder. Okay, so we're going to want to use Water our next attack. We might want to consider healing Tidus as well. Or else what we could do is just swap him out. But you're generally going to end up just using Lulu is going to be your main mode of attack. Now I might actually show off Riku's usability if we didn't just take him out like that all of a sudden. That battle pretty much couldn't have gone that much better. That's pretty much the way you want to do it. Set yourself up with a nice magic break and power break from Orin and then just sensibly attack him. To find out his weakness and use the opposite attack. It's once you know what's going on, it's not that complicated, to be honest. But the worthless protoplasm did leave behind a sphere, and it's Jecht spheres if we wanted anything to do with that guy. And plenty of AP into the bargain. Lots of level ups here, and a level 2 key sphere, brilliant. I think if we overkilled him, we might have ended up getting 2 level 2 key spheres.
Don't know if you can play it back.
Yeah, you need a VHS player.
Jecht left it here 10
Or maybe you
years
need
ago.
Jecht's Betamax.
Play it back.
It's probably just Jecht's private spank bank is what it is.
What are you taking?
Well, you said it was gonna be a long trip. We'll be seeing a lot of neat things, right? So I thought I'd record it all in this. To show to my wife and kid, you know.
This is no pleasure cruise.
Hey, Braska. Ain't this supposed to be a grand occasion? We're the cheering fans, the crying women.
This is it. Too many goodbyes. People think twice about leaving.
If you say so. Well, it better be a lot more colorful when we come back. A parade for Braska, vanquisher of sin.
We should go. Day will break soon.
Yeah, so that's pretty much the first one of Jecht's vlogs that we're going to see. From Jecht's
Oren,
YouTube
could you
channel.
stand closer to him?
And Braska's vlogs as well, I guess. Oran's just a stick in the mud as per usual.
Good. That should do it.
Oh, you can almost see that it says Lake Macalania.
What's the matter?
Class.
Afraid I might bite.
No, you smell.
Jecht.
Braska, you should take one too. It'll make a great gift for little Yuna.
He just looks like Dog the Bounty Hunter or something, is what Jecht
I
looks like.
suppose.
Seriously.
Lord Braska, we shouldn't be wasting our time like this.
What's the hurry, man?
Let me tell you what the hurry is.
Oren.
So for someone who walks around with a hip flask full of whatever alcohol you'd be drinking, you sure are a serious Stephen,
What's the
Oren.
point? He wasn't on some pleasure cruise.
I think there's more.
Titus, you're somewhat. Where does Titus get off expecting someone to take something more seriously?
Hey, if you're sitting there watching this, it means you're stuck in Spira like me. You might not know when you'll get back home, but you better not be crying. Although I guess I'd understand. But you know what? There's a time when you have to stop crying and move on. You'll be fine. Remember, you're my son. And, well, never mind, I'm no good at these things.
Nice to know you wait until you're, like, stuck in some alternate dimension to start being nice to me and start being a bit supportive, Dad.
Anyways,
Seriously.
I believe in you. Be good.
It's like, no wonder everyone thought you were so great, because you didn't act like a jerk when you were here. It seems.
He sounded almost serious, but it was too late.
See, that's what I was saying.
He was serious. Jecht had already accepted his fate.
His fate?
Jecht, he was always talking about going home to Xanarkand. That's why he took all those pictures, to show them to you when he returned. But as he journeyed with us and came to understand Spira and Braska's resolve, it happened gradually, but Jecht changed. He decided he would join Braska in his fight against sin.
So then, he gave up going home?
That was his decision.
I guess I understood. My old man. He knew there was no way back home. Back to Xanarkand. He wanted to go home, but he knew he couldn't. He couldn't go on until he accepted it. Besides, even if he had found a way back, I don't think he would have left his friends behind before their journey was complete. All right, let's go, guys. Maybe I had to start accepting my own fate.
It seems like you're pretty much invested already. Yeah, so here we go. Jecht's spheres. Try saying that 10 times fast. And yeah, that's Jecht's vlogs are going to be scattered around the Spira. And when we find them, as we find them, it's going to unlock new overdrives for Oren, including Shooting Star. I must say this is such a beautiful area, but still. And actually, since I'm playing like the European version of the game,
Yeah?
Oren, I'm trying to explain
Jecht
something to the
loved
viewers
you.
here.
Oh, come on, please.
He just didn't know how to express it, he said.
Enough about my old man, okay?
I just thought you should know.
Yeah, okay.
I don't need to know that. It makes it harder to hate him.
Thanks.
Titus just likes being contrary to a certain extent. As I was saying, I'm playing like the European PS2 version, so even though I'm playing the PS2 version, it's the PAL version, so normally in the American version there would be no issue with going back to one of the areas I'm going to go back to now later, and basically I'll explain now. I'm going to be going back to Besaid all the way. I'm going to walk all the way back to Besaid, and then all the way back here. That's because one of Jecht's spheres is in Besaid right next to the temple, but pretty soon, like within the next couple of videos, we're going to like trigger something in the game, which means going back to Besaid is going to mean I have to fight Dark Valfor to be able to do anything in the village ever again. So I'm actually so that means if I want to get that sphere without having to fight Dark Valfor, which I'm not intending on doing, I'm going to have to do it now. So I'm pretty much going to do the sphere grid now for my characters, and then in the next video I'll be back at the start back in Besaid Island, pick up the Jecht sphere, and then meet you back here. So tune out. Feel free to tune out if you don't want to see all the sphere grid stuff as per usual, because we're pretty much just going to be getting a whole bunch of upgrades here again. Normally I kind of like to wait until I have about like somewhere between 5 and 10 sphere grid levels for every character. It just seems to be like the proper time, because you don't want to leave it too long either. Like if you end up leaving it too long, you're just going to be like I kind of did, like I kind of noticed that in the Thunder Plains right at the start. What is up here? Yeah, I wanted to come up here and get these, didn't I? Get some HP and defense for Lulu. I kind of started to notice that at the beginning of the Thunder Plains, where it was just like a little bit too, where I was just like lacking a tiny little bit, which just made the battles a tiny bit too grueling, if you know what I mean. But then as soon as I got like those couple of sphere levels, like the game is just like, I must say, like one thing about this game is it's very well paced. Like you never really have to do grinding. Like I did grind for a tiny little bit on the Mihen High Road or whatever it's called. But you never really have to do too much grinding, which is so nice. Because there's one thing that's like, if there's one thing that's frustrating about an RPG, it's like an RPG where you kind of are forced to grind quite a lot, you know. And I must say, like there are so many RPGs where you do have to grind at some stage, where you're forced to, and this just isn't one of them, which is just so, it makes the playing experience so much more smooth. It just and enjoyable in the long run, thankfully. So I'm actually going to get Sloga already here. I might scope out where actually, where Haste guy is. Is that like a level 2 lock? No, I didn't want to do that. Didn't want to do that at all. Level 3 lock with strength +4. Yeah, well, there's going to be no getting past that, because I'm pretty sure the next time, like, it's not going to be for ages and ages until we get access to level 3 key spheres, so pretty much you would leave that there. So where's Hastega? I remember it's like not normally until a lot later that I get that ability. Like normally it's kind of, I seem to remember having it for a certain aerial battle, if you know what I mean. Yeah, there it is. All the way up there, and it with good reason. It's all the way there with good reason, because you saw how broken haste is on its own. Hastega just means you get to haste your whole party, which means pretty much 2 turns and you have haste on everybody. It's absolutely obscene. And like, I suppose you would be forgiven for calling like the battle system in this game simplistic. I guess it is simplistic to a certain extent, but that can be kind of refreshing as well to a certain extent. Like, there's a very fine line between having a battle system that's very simple and one that's like overly complex to the point where you don't end up engaging with it, if you know what I mean. Is there anything I'm going to miss down there? No. Like, to be honest, that was one of the things that I found off-putting about Final Fantasy 13, like right at the beginning, was that like the was that like the battle system was just so different and so new, that I found it difficult to engage with it and actually bother learning how it worked, if you know what I mean. Which that's not a good thing, because I actually am a big fan of Final Fantasy 13, but it took a lot of kind of perseverance and tenacity to actually bother going to the trouble of learning how to play the game. And I think with this game, it is simplistic, but there's an awful lot of planning and strategizing involved, because of the way that you kind of know exactly what's going to happen. It's not an active battle system. What's that, level 3 lock? Yeah, no way we're getting in there either. That's like Lulu Sphere with Flare right at the end of it. So that's everyone, okay. Yeah, I'll return to the main menu. So yeah, thus begins a long journey back to Besaid. I'm pretty much just going to flee from every battle. So actually, to be honest, that Sonic Steel is going to be pretty useful, because it means Tidus is always going to go first, so I can just flee from everything. So thanks a million for watching this part of Let's Play Final Fantasy X. I will see you next time. Bye now.